episode. We're so excited. And we have a giveaway, but you're going to have to wait till the end. So stay tuned. You got to stay with us. We are so excited because every week we come to you live for to give you the most up-to-date IT information that we possibly can. So we are excited for this week. Wayne, how you doing?
Good. I mean, Spectrum made things a little lively this morning. I don't know how many people got affected by the outage. It's still not working very well, so we're having to adapt to mobile hotspots. So hopefully this will come through okay. How about you?
It has been a busy weekend, but doing good. Excited for our giveaway. And actually today, we are keeping it up with cybersecurity, and so we are going to get started.
Okay.
So our first question, Wayne, is we talk about cybersecurity all the time.
Yep. How
big of an issue has it really become?
It's a really big issue, and that's the reason we talk about it all the time. So the estimates for cybersecurity, the cost of cybersecurity globally in 2020 is estimated to $6 trillion. It's massive, and that kind of if you divide it out, that's about 11.4 million per minute. Another way to put it in perspective, which I found this fascinating, was if you take the total revenue in 2019 for Walmart, Apple, Amazon, Tesla, and Facebook, that's only $1.28 trillion. So yes, $6 trillion is a lot. And that cost breaks down to a lot of different things. I mean, it's either damage or the destruction of data. It is the cost of paying ransomware, Bitcoin fees that businesses have to pay. It is the impact on SEO. A few weeks ago, we were talking about with Steve at Electromarketing and talking about, if you have viruses embedded in your website and how Google detects those and knocks you way down on your SEO. So that's an impact. Stolen money just from people having the credentials. It's lost productivity, when you are shut down by a ransomware and your business can't function. I mean, that gets very, very expensive. It's stolen IP, it's stolen financial and personal data. And one that it's a little hard to put an actual value is reputation, harm to your reputation. When you think about these big companies that get hit with a data breach and how many consumers then start shying away from them, what is that impact on their business? So data breaches are a big thing, and it's something that more and more companies are working really, really hard to make sure it doesn't happen. So a lot of damage that can occur from cybercrime.
So, can you explain what the cyber criminals are after?
So you can break it down into three different kind of arenas. One is personal data. And I guess roughly speaking, personal data is one or more pieces of information that help segment one person from another. And so, it's lots of information. Obviously, date of birth and social security numbers, those are the big ones. And a lot of times in the big security breaches, those are the ones that get hit. But it's addresses, it's email addresses, it's mother maiden name. It's, because a lot of times these places have security questions. Well, when they breach the data, they get those too. So, that's a big one. And those get sold out on the dark web. And depending on what it is, the higher the dollar value. Obviously, date of birth and social security numbers command a higher value than some of the others. The second one is stolen credentials. And so, bank credentials, credit cards, things of that nature. Those end up with the stolen money, or, it's, they want to be able to get in and take that money, but it actually goes beyond that. We touched on this a few weeks ago. We have incidences where people log on to email accounts and then or social networking accounts, and they pose as you and they send things out to start trying to hack into your contact list, your friends, things of that nature. So that is that's really the second one. And the third one is the ransomware. And so the ransomware we've talked about in the past, but just to kind of remind everyone, what that is they get into your business, your PC, they encrypt everything so that all it is just a bunch of characters on the screen. You cannot use any of your devices, get at your data. You can't function. And so what they do is they send you a little note saying you have to pay in Bitcoin, and they will send you the encryption key so that you can once again start operating. There's actually a little cottage industry of negotiating businesses that have now sprung up, that you hire them to negotiate out your payment, or you choose it. About 40% of the companies pay. The others just go ahead and wipe everything and start over. So, and that's big too. I think ransomware is estimated to be 25 billion this year, and it's expensive. So, those are the main things that people are after.
Okay. So, what are the 4 most important things that companies can do to protect themselves?
Yeah, and for those of you who follow us, you're going to say, yeah, we've heard all this, but we keep preaching the same things. And so, number one, antivirus. We've talked about that. Antivirus, you need to have an active antivirus account. Active mean it's a paid subscription. A lot of people will download the 30-day trials or the free Malwarebytes. Those are great, but as we've talked in the past, an active license will update up to 2 times a day, because there are hundreds of thousands being developed every day and they have to update. So you really have to have an active antivirus. Firewall. It's amazing how many companies we come across don't have a firewall. And, firewalls, as we've said before, they help block infected content from being emailed in. They help protect you on sites that you're going to. But even more importantly, they block criminals from getting into your network and logging in onto your PCs with maybe some of those credentials. So firewalls are incredibly important. A third one is, a good password management policy. And so, you always want to have good, strong passwords, and a lot of times you want a good rotational policy on those so that you have to update them every certain amount of time. A thing we mentioned just not long ago, if it is important, if it's bank, credit card, whatever it is, use multi-factor authentication. Prime example, QuickBooks. We have our QuickBooks, is stored in our password manager, which I'll touch on in a second, but it has multi-factor set up with a text. So when I go and I log in, I get a text on my phone and I have to enter in that code that they text. If someone steals our QuickBooks credentials, they will not be able to get in because the text goes to my phone. And so that's what it's for. So it's an extra layer. If it's important, put it in. It's not that much of an inconvenience. And as I said, a good password manager, that does so much for you. It keeps your password secure. It makes it easy to keep them strong. It keeps them out of hands employees. There's so many benefits to a really good password manager. So those are the main things. There are so many other things that you can do, but if you're hitting those, then you're going to be, and one last one, nothing's 100%. So you need a good disaster recovery plan. And if for no other reason, human error. I mean, the stories have been in the past where, a cyber criminal will leave a USB thumb drive in a parking lot. An employee sees it, picks it up, plugs it into their computer to see who it belongs to. Lo and behold, they're in, right? They've gotten past your firewall, now they're in. So just for the fact of human error, have a backup so that if you get ransomware, you can just, flip them the bird and say no. And we wipe everything, we re-download, and off you go, and you're up and going. There's no negotiations, no Bitcoin payments. So you always need a good disaster recovery.
Very good.
Yes.
Very informative. Thank you. Well, that brings us to my tip of the week. And I don't know if this is a tip or a hack. I don't know. You can call it what you want. But I thought it was interesting that so if you're one that has to proofread a lot, or if you have a college student, this might be great for them. If you have papers you're doing or whatever, you paste it into Google Translate, and what Google Translate will do will read it back to you so that you can hear, because, a lot of times, and I'm sure people have tested this, we've tested it, that when you read something so much, you read over your mistakes, right? And it's easy to miss things. So, but Google Translate will read it back to you so that you can hear it. And then they also pick up on some, minor spelling errors.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool. So if you're a writer, or, if you have a college student, or if you have to proofread documents a lot, that's something that can help you out and kind of break up the monotony.
Google Translate. Okay.
Google Translate.
I have to try that.
Yeah. So how about you, Wayne? Do you have a tip for us?
Yeah, I think I'm going to stay on the whole cybercrime thing and personal data. We all get the annoying credit card offers, loan offers, all of this stuff that comes in the mail. And a lot of people just throw it out. Well, those can hold personal information. Don't throw those in the garbage. So what you really want to do is put them in a place where they can be destroyed. Now, if you have a good sized shredder and you want to throw them through a shredder, that's fine. Unfortunately, we all get a lot of documents that we need to destroy at times. Actually, if you do a Google or just an internet search on creating logs out of recycled paper, I've been planning to do this, but haven't done it yet. But you can take and in a nutshell, you take and you put them in a bucket, you crumple them up, put them in a bucket, let them soak. Then you kind of auger it up with an auger on a drill bit, and then you can press out the water, let them dry, cut them up into logs. They actually make logs. So,
wow.
So now that I imagine eventually we're going to have cold weather again. Doesn't seem it these days, but those could be great for those little driveway fires. So, but let's not throw them in the garbage.
Got it. That's good. Good tip.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so it is our 25th episode.
Yes.
We are so excited. For our giveaway, we are doing 5 security assessments. So, Wayne, can you tell us how that's going to work?
Yeah, so what we do is we come to your business, we do an evaluation, an audit of your devices. We check things like your antivirus. We look for open ports that can be vulnerable. We look at backups and make sure they're backing up. That's another thing. A lot of customers are surprised. They think their backups are working, and they're not, unless somebody's watching that stuff. But we look for vulnerabilities, and then we just let you know what we see. And whether you act on it or not, there's no commitment, but it's information that you can see the state of your business and how secure it is. And so, yes, the first 5 that reach out to us, we will go in and we will take some, depending on the size of the business, upwards to a couple of hours, but we will we'll comb through and create a little report for you. How
exciting.
Yes.
So that is the first 5 that reach out. You can see our contact information on our screen. So first 5, take advantage.
Yes.
It's a good thing.
Yes.
So, well, thank you all for joining us. It has been a pleasure as always. You guys have a fantastic week.
And next week.
Oh, and next week. Sorry. Almost forgot.
We're not going to quit after 25. Now we're next week. Something that we get a lot, we're going to talk about is, do I buy a refurbished PC or a brand new PC? And so there's pros and cons to it. So we're going to dive into that a little bit. So tune in next week, and that's what we'll be covering.
Awesome. I'm sure that's going to be very, very informative.
Yes.
So we all have a great week. Thank you so much for joining us and joining us for our 25th episode. Reminder again, the first 5 that reach out, here is our contact information again. The first 5 that reach out will get a free security assessment, and we will see you next week.
Bye now.